What's up, guys? It is Q&A Friday. It's Friday! Woo! Last day of the week. Let me know what questions you guys have for me, and I will be more than happy to answer them for you. These can be any types of questions, whether it's about Amazon or general entrepreneurship or living life and being a digital nomad. Drop them in the comments box below. We'll be monitoring Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook, so put your comments or your questions in there. I'm going to look through, I'm going to grab as many as I can. I'm going to answer as many questions as I can for the next hour or so. While we wait for the first questions to pile in there, I want to tell you guys about something. I'm giving away 50 copies of this really cool founder book. It's this coffee table book. It's really nice. It's hardcover. It actually costs $80. I'm giving away 50 copies of them. So if you want, you can go to gregmercer.com/founder. And that's where you can enter your email address to be entered to win one of these, and I'll pay for shipping and everything. You don't have to pay for anything. All you do is enter it to be drawn, and I'll take care of buying the books and sending them to you. So, looks like we already have some questions in here. All right, from Vine Wings. It says, some of my competitors have, some of my competitors have pictures under the product description, as in towards the middle or bottom of the page. That is more of an advertisement for their main product or pictures. Is this something anyone can do, or is this invite only by Amazon? So there's something called enhanced brand content, okay? Enhanced brand content is something that is available to all third-party sellers through the Seller Central platform. You just have to have brand registry for that brand. So if you have brand registry for that brand, then you have access to this thing called enhanced brand content. You can choose these different templates, and then you can put all of those extra descriptions and pictures and all that good stuff in the kind of the bottom area, okay? The other type of way to get that is through the Vendor Express or Vendor Central program. That's when you actually sell your inventory to Amazon. And then there's something called A+ content, which is essentially, it's a very similar thing. So assuming most of you guys are doing the FBA program, you get access to the enhanced brand content by entering the brand registry. If you did it first quarter this year, you don't have to have a trademark, or you didn't have to then. If you're trying to register for brand registry today, you do have to have a trademark on that product. All right. Overly Polite said, a few days ago, I sent in my first FBA package. Congratulations, with 10 items. Yesterday, I received 2 emails. One was saying they received my goods. The other said that the shipment was received in full and that my unit should be available for sale pending a valid listing and fulfillment momentarily. How long is momentarily? Got this 18 hours ago, and essentially you still can't buy it. This generally only takes like a day, or usually even less than a day. That being said, since we are in Q4 now, most of these distribution centers are a little bit more backed up, and it's taking them a little bit longer to receive the goods. And this is even going to be more so true the closer we get to like Black Friday and Christmas, okay? It also depends if they decided to like redistribute some of your inventory for you. However, generally, when you send in a shipment, it's available for sale within like 24 hours of them receiving your goods. All right. Pendolcy said, hello, I'm new to FBA. I need some advice at this early stage of the business. I've located a product on Alibaba, and I'm happy to make contact with the vendor, but I need to know if vendors provide shipment services, or do I have to contact a freight forwarder beforehand? I would recommend contacting a freight forwarder and letting them handle this. So a really good resource for this is the $1 Million Case Study. You can find it at junglescott.com/million. I think episode 9 or 10 was with Flexport. They're a freight forwarder. They gave us a lot of good insight, kind of like how this whole process works. Just to give you an idea, like the whole freight forwarding and shipping from China to the US or wherever your final destination is, it's pretty easy once you kind of figure out how to do it. So I'd recommend looking at that. And the short way of answering your question is contact a freight forwarder and have them ship your goods. It's overall going to be a better experience than trying to have your factory do that for you. Nelson Catman, how do I see which of my products are selling the most? Is there a report I can pull up for either FBM or FBA? Seller Central is very frustrating for Amazon sellers. Yes, there are reports that you can pull up. And just to make sure that I don't tell you wrong, I'm going to go ahead and just log in. But if you go to reports and then the business reports sections, I think the title of it is like detailed view by ASIN. And you can see on an ASIN specific level how many of these units are selling. That being said, a lot of Amazon sellers do choose to use a third-party platform for their profit analytics and accounting, because it's pretty obvious just that the fact that you had to answer this question just shows like the frustration that Amazon sellers have with Seller Central. Of course, one of our products is called Fetcher. You can check it out at fetcher.com. It's really inexpensive, and then it gives like all those nice reports. It shows you in very nice graphs which products are selling the best. It's what all sellers wish Seller Central was like. And for most people, it's only 19 bucks a month, which everyone says is really like a steal for what you get out of it. All right. One question from YouTube was your position on MTC. This is for anyone not familiar, MTC is the Multi-State Tax Commission. Right now, they're doing this amnesty program where in the past, if you haven't filed state sales tax in like 20 states or however many it is, then they will give you amnesty for previous periods and let you just like essentially start paying, I guess, this quarter moving forward. That being said, there is like a little bit of controversy in the space. Not necessarily controversy, but it's pretty clear that the laws written are I'm just going to say like kind of like antiquated. They don't, in my opinion, like make it clear or pertain to like modern day e-commerce and specifically for Amazon sellers. So we actually, if you go to our Jungle Scouts YouTube channel, just earlier this week, we posted a video that's like a debate style. One guy thinks that you shouldn't take advantage of this and that that the states cannot lawfully collect sales tax from you, and the other guy, he's pushing, he's a promoter, believes this is a good deal for Amazon sellers. So I would encourage you just to check that out. It's a really good resource, and then that will let you kind of decide for yourself. What are the top 3 things? This is from Katie Corkill on YouTube. What are the top 3 things that new sellers forget to do for their first listing? Top 3 things new sellers forget. Good question. I would say, I don't know exactly what new sellers forget, but I'll tell you like the top most important things for your listing. I'd say the single most important thing for your listing is going to be doing keyword research. So this is, you need to find out what keywords people are searching for, what keywords real consumers, real buyers would be searching for that then would find your product and then purchase it. Okay, so that's like keyword research. And then you need to make sure to integrate these keywords in your listing, and any that don't go into your listing should go into your backend search terms. Okay, so that's very important. High quality photos are extremely, extremely important. And if I were to say something else, since you asked for 3 things, I'd probably just say to make sure that you put your most important keywords in your title, because it's pretty clear those are weighted the most heavily. All right. Juan Ramirez from YouTube says, hey, Gary, I don't understand the ranking and how it should impact my decision about which product to choose. Juan, if you want to clarify what ranking you're talking about, I'll be more than happy to answer your question. I don't quite know. Another one from YouTube, Bak Din said, how soon should you go live with the listing after your products have been shipped? So once you create a listing in Amazon, if you don't have any inventory into Amazon yet, they're automatically going to suppress that listing so no one can find it. They don't want their buyers to find it since there's no inventory there for them to purchase. So go ahead and set up your listing while you're waiting for your goods to be shipped into Amazon. And then once they arrive there and they're unloaded, Amazon will automatically make them available for your customers. All right. My items on page 1, this is on YouTube from Chinsky Chat. My items on page 1, I have 2 genuine 5-star reviews, cheaper than competitors and great ads, but only selling 1 to 3 a day compared to others 10 or so. What gives? Okay, so for one, it sounds like you probably don't have the social proof that your competitors have if you only have 2 reviews. And also keep in mind, sometimes people are like, well, for this one keyword that I searched, I was ranked like, let's say above this other guy, but I'm only selling 100 a month and he's selling 1,000 a month. Why is that if I'm ranked higher? It's like, well, the reason for that is probably that this other listing is ranked much better for a lot of other keywords. Because keep in mind, like all of us have like one main keyword in mind. However, a lot of the sales come through from these long tail keywords, like like the one I always search for just to kind of see how our listing is doing is like hooded baby towel. However, in reality, people are searching for like best baby shower gift towel pink, and then finding my listing and purchasing it through that. So it sounds like your listing is very young if you only have 2 reviews. So at this point for you, Chinsky Chat, I would recommend you just need additional sales at the beginning to build up that sales velocity so you start ranking better for that keyword, other keywords, and so you start getting reviews. So what I do to get those additional sales is bid aggressively on PPC, and I also do coupon giveaways. So of course I use JumpSend to do our coupon giveaways, but if you know somewhere else, that's fine too. The idea at the beginning is you just need to get as many sales as possible because the sales velocity is a major ranking factor of how you rank. All right. How high tech of a camera do you need to take product pics? Katie Corco on YouTube asked this. You don't need that high tech of a camera. We actually did build this like a tutorial of how you could take like pretty good product photos with like an iPhone. iPhones actually have like really good cameras on them. With all photography, actually the lighting's what makes a large part of like how well these products turn out. So I'd say even with an iPhone with some like nice lighting, maybe if you watch like the tutorial we did or one of the other ones online, you can actually take pretty good product pictures. So yeah, you don't necessarily need like, one of these cameras that are a few $1,000s. Yeah, they probably take like a little bit better pictures, but like if you're on a tight budget, you can do it with an iPhone and some good lighting. Can you still make money selling products below $18? Would you recommend selling products below this price? On YouTube, Havan Jordan Shroud asked this. Yes, you can make money selling products under $18. The reason I normally go for like $20 and above or $18 and above is just because these higher priced products, there's generally just more money and profit for each unit sale. So, if you're selling an item for like $10, after Amazon takes like their $4, like pick, pack, and ship fee and like commission, you're maybe $1 or $2 for PPC spend, getting your product into Amazon. It's generally like, if you're selling a $10 product, it's generally like $1 or $2 profit per item. Let's say like $2. So, if you're selling 10 a day, it's only $20 a day. It's like, well, if I can make $5 profit, it just adds up a lot faster. That's why I just prefer the little bit higher price items. But yes, of course, you can make money with these lesser expensive products. Just be mindful of your margins. Is JumpSend available in Canada? Unfortunately, JumpSend's not available in Canada right now. It's going to be available in the UK at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. After that, we'll probably release it to Germany, and then the months following that through other EU countries and other North American stores. Sarah Cuppert from YouTube asks, some suppliers are charging quite high fees for printing my label on samples or refusing right out to do that. Is that normal? Yes, that is normal. Keep in mind that when printing, generally, if I'm going to assume that they're screen printing this logo on these products for you. So keep in mind, to do screen printing, you have to like create a screen, and then you probably have to like make some adjustments to your machinery to fit that particular screen. You might have to get a different color ink for your logo. So there's a lot of prep work to kind of get the screen printers set up. Once you get it set up, it's easy to do a print off 1,000 of these, you know, so that's why it's not a big deal when you're doing production runs, but generally it is very difficult to get your logo printed on these products for the samples. I generally don't do it. What you can do, you know, you can obviously give them the artwork of what you want your logo to look like after they print it. And then I would recommend, like, the first one that comes off the production line with your logo, ask your sales rep to take a picture of it and send it to you, just so you can give it the thumbs up that everything looks correct. All right, from Facebook, Saida Shireen Haidar says, hey, Greg, in your opinion, what's the biggest mistake that one can make to fail on Amazon? The biggest mistake I see newbies make who fail on Amazon is trying to sell a product that either has no demand on Amazon. They want to sell it because their mom was looking for it on Amazon and she said, oh, you should sell this because I couldn't find it. But the truth is there's probably no demand for that product. That's one big mistake. The other big mistake is just going to a niche that's very, very competitive. That's very hard to get, you know, organic rank for. Another one from the same person. Will you guys do a video explaining keyword search for your sleeping bags? Yes, we actually already created this video. So if you go to junglescott.com/million, pretty sure we already created this video. Now I'm having second thoughts. Check there, junglescott.com/million. I'm pretty sure we already did the one on keyword research. Now I'm starting to have second guesses if we haven't already, but if we haven't already, we will definitely do that. Kashif says, how do you find or build an outsourced team? This is a pretty big question. It sounds like, my guess, like if you're answering this question, step one for you would be to decide, what do I need help on in my Amazon business? And then who would be a good person to do that particular task? So if I was you, I would write down the things that you don't enjoy doing or you're not good at or take up a lot of your time, and then be thinking about like which of those things would be good candidates for you to give to someone else to do. After you've created that, that's when you can be thinking about, okay, like how do I need a full-time person to do all these jobs? Do I need a part-time person? Do I need someone just like helping me out a few hours a week? If you need a few hours a week or a part-time person, then like Upwork's a pretty good space to find freelancers that are willing to do tasks. If you're hiring a full-time person, you need to be thinking about, okay, is this going to be someone I hire locally or remotely? Of course, and you'd find them kind of in different spots. All right. Another one from YouTube. Edorado said, I can send my freight forwarder directly to or can I send my freight forwarder directly to Amazon Magazine? Or do I have to send, for example, a courier like DHL? A freight forwarder, I think this is the question. A freight forwarder can ship your goods directly from the distribution center. Directly from the factory or the supplier directly into the distribution center. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be through a courier like DHL. Freight forwarder shipping, I'm going to assume Ocean Freight is able to do that as well. Why is it possible for an Amazon seller to join a private label listing of another seller? I've witnessed this in a couple of cases. This from Facebook. Maradids asked this. So something to keep in mind, when you create a listing on Amazon, it's actually, it's not like your listing. Like you don't like own the listing. It's Amazon's listing. You created it. You can think about it to help them out. And then you can sell your inventory on Amazon's listing that you created for them. Anyone else who has that exact same product with that same SKU, or the same UPC and has the exact same product, can also sell on that listing. That's how the Amazon marketplace was set up, and it was set up kind of like before private label. So if I have a Black & Decker drill, I might be buying that drill from Black & Decker, so are a bunch of other people, and then they're all sending it into Amazon and selling it through that same Amazon listing. Because Amazon didn't want their marketplace to be like eBay, where there's a whole bunch of different listings selling the exact same thing. Now, if you're the private label seller and no one else, and you're not selling your product to anyone else out there, you should then be the only person who has this product. However, if someone were to purchase this product through you and then not open it and then want to resell it on Amazon, they could do so. If a carton of your goods got lost somewhere and someone found it, they could ship those into Amazon and sell them there. And that's all per Amazon's terms of service. That's allowed, okay? What would not be allowed would be if someone were to sell a counterfeit item. So, like our sleeping bags are Jungle Slumber sleeping bags. If someone else is trying to sell their sleeping bag on our list or on, the Jungle Slumber listing, and it's not a original Jungle Slumber product, then that would be at that point a counterfeit product, and you could report them to Amazon. So hopefully that makes more sense. So when you're doing private labeling, theoretically, no one else should be selling on your listing. However, there are some little cases like that pop up. What's the best keyword research tool? There's a lot of keyword research tools. This is from AJ Belanger on YouTube. There is, let's see. I use Google's keyword tool. They've kind of stripped it down a little bit in the past few years, but it still works pretty well. Keywordtool.io, KSI Graph. A lot of people like merchant words. Yeah, those are a few of them just to get you started. AJ also asked on YouTube, do I need a lawyer to review my agreement with my Alibaba supplier or manufacturer? This is totally up to you. I don't have a lawyer review these particular agreements, but depending on, kind of your risk tolerance and how you feel like you're able to read through these and understand them, then that's kind of up to you. I'd say most people don't, but then again, some people have a lawyer review like every contract or document or piece of thing they ever sign. Jake from YouTube asks, hey Greg, why do people not care if a product has thousands of sales, but they care about reviews? To rank your product, don't you have to match or get more sales than the competition? Good question, Jake. You do need to get a lot of sales, okay? Sales velocity isn't the only thing that Amazon takes into account when ranking your product. They also take into account, of course, like keyword relevancy or like how relevant your product is for the keyword that's being searched. They take into account conversion rate, and then some other factors too that I think make up less of a, or like less important. So I think people do care about how many sales a product has. Why the number of reviews is a good gauge of competition is that gives you a good idea of one, how much social proof your competitors have, so how much social proof you're competing against. It also gives you a good idea of how mature that particular niche is. So if there are like brand new listings in that niche that are doing very well, even though they only have like 10 reviews, that's a good gauge or a good indicator for us that that's probably something that we could launch pretty easily and launch and pretty quickly get a lot of reviews because and get a lot of sales because other people have been able to do that. So yeah, I think that should help. From Facebook, Fraser House, is there any plans to offer a monthly package for all your software products? Yes, this is in the pipeline. Ideally, it'd be nice if someone could, have one billing system to pay for all of these. Unfortunately, it's not ready yet, so you do have to kind of buy them a la carte. He was talking about JumpSend, Jungle Scout, and Fetcher. And then we also have Splitly in our suite of tools as well. Eddie U asked on YouTube, are follow-up emails sent through Amazon Seller Central or JumpSend? Are they automatic or manual? If you use JumpSend, what happens is you create email campaigns. So when anyone buys one of my Jungle Sticks or my Jungle Snugs, they're automatically, because I set this up in JumpSend, and whenever a buyer purchases my product, they're automatically sent 3 emails, okay? The first email says like, hey, your product was shipped today. I hope you enjoy it. I'm here for you if you ever need any help. Email 2 says, hey, I realized like this just arrived. Again, if you have any problems, make sure to let me know and I'll make it right. If you're enjoying it, we would really appreciate a review if you could leave one. And then we give them a link for them to leave a review. And the third one says something like, hey, like whatever, I noticed you haven't left a review yet. If you could do so, it'd be greatly appreciated. When you set up when you set up Jump Send, you sync it up with your Amazon Seller Central account through Amazon's API. So it automatically knows when you have a purchase, and then it automatically sends us these emails. You don't have to manually go in there and do it. All right. On Facebook, Rami Wood says, what is the best advice if I were doing something and I know they use a lot something and then buy in Amazon? Can I sell it and tell my coworkers and managers about my product? Rami, I think what you're asking here is like, you work somewhere, you know these people are buying 1,000 marshmallow sticks every month through Amazon. Would it be okay if you put marshmallow sticks up on Amazon and then told your manager to buy yours? I don't see anything wrong with this. It's kind of, I don't know, I think it's like a little bit, yeah, I mean, that's fine. Like what I would probably do if I was you though, is just go ahead and just cut out the middleman Amazon. They're taking a cut of your profits. Like you could just order it from Alibaba and just try to sell it directly to your manager too. That seems like the better idea to me, but yeah, either one would work. From Facebook, Ryan Ringdon said, Greg, if I'm in a medium demand, low competition category per Jungle Scout, and there are around 20 sellers selling the same product, should I still look into seeing if the product is patented? It's always good to try to do some research to see if these products are patented enough. So I would encourage you to do so. If there are 20 sellers selling a very similar product, chances are it's not patented, but it still always could be. So I'd encourage you to do your due diligence there. On Facebook, Crystal Andrews says, hey, Greg, I know you have said something about expanding to international markets is a great way to increase profits. But why is that any different than just launching more products in the US market? Thanks, you're the best. Thanks, Crystal. Good question. It's actually not very much. It's not really different than just launching more products in the US. If the US is working for you and that's easy, it is essentially no different than just launching more products there. Some reasons people like to go international is to kind of like diversify a little bit, or to explore new territory, or to find maybe opportunities that they think they would be able to do better in different marketplaces. So yeah, but you're right. It is essentially no different than just launching more products in the US. And if that's working for you and that's easy for you, I would encourage you to just do that. All right. One from YouTube, Taylor Smith says, do you recommend doing an inspection? Can you talk about the pros and cons? And Eddie Yu also asked a very similar thing. Thanks, Eddie. Which inspection is more worthwhile doing, a production or pre-shipment? So I'll talk about inspections real quickly. All right. Those are the two most common types of inspections, DURPRO, which are during production, or pre-shipment. A DURPRO, that's generally after like 20 or 30% of the goods are finished, and you send in an inspector and they do that inspection then. The benefits of this inspection are that if there are any problems, it's much easier for the factory to fix these problems when they've only created 200 units instead of 1,000 units. Okay, so that's nice. If they're already done with all 1,000 units and then you get a pre-shipment inspection, it's sometimes harder to get them to go back and redo all these. Okay, so in an ideal world where we have unlimited money and we don't care about margins, that's not an ideal world, but then you would do a DURPRO and a pre-production or pre-shipment inspection on all shipments. In real life, though, you have to be thinking about, well, how much do these inspections cost me? They're generally about $200. So that means if I do 2 of them, that's $400. It's like, well, if I'm just getting started and my entire production's only, let's say, $2,000, it's like, well, adding $400 extra for 2 shipments, that drives up the price by 20%. So at that point now, we have to be thinking about, okay, well, what's my risk tolerance and what's the likelihood that something's going to go wrong on this particular shipment? All right. So then you start thinking about like, okay, well, this is a pretty simple product. It's just bamboo marshmallow sticks. There's probably not a lot that can go wrong here. Why don't I do this instead? Why don't I ask my supplier to just take pictures of the first few units off the production line, and I'll just look at them and make sure there's nothing wrong, or ask him to like shoot a video with his cell phone. I can look at that to see if I can see anything wrong. And then I'll just get one done pre-shipment. Or maybe if it's a smaller dollar amount and your risk tolerance is a little bit higher, then you just don't get any inspections done at all. All right. So yeah, that's what you have to factor in. You just have to be thinking about what's the value of my shipment, what's my risk tolerance, and probably like what's the likelihood that something's going to go wrong here. All right. On YouTube, Chinsky Chat is asking, EXW or FOB, what's the difference? So they're asking about Incoterms. What Incoterms are these are the terms that you're setting between you and the factory of who's responsible, essentially, or what responsibilities the factory has after the goods are completed. So FOB is the most common. That's generally what your price quotes are going to be in. This stands for free on board. And what this means is the factory is responsible for completing your shipment, sending it, putting it on a truck or whatever else to get it to the port from where either it's going to get on an airplane or get on a boat. They're responsible for any customs clearance. They're responsible for like, if something were to go wrong with, like if their truck were to tip over and the goods were started on fire and were destroyed, they'd be at that point responsible for replacing them. So they're responsible for everything up until it gets like on the boat or in the jet on its way to you. Okay, so that's FOB. EXW, Xworks, this means that the factory is essentially just responsible for like completing these goods and then putting it like on their loading dock ready for them to be shipped. At that point, it'd be up to you to either get them picked up there or to get them picked up there and shipped. Maybe that's like air courier or whatever. So EXW is the most common if you're using like DHL or FedEx, which is an air courier, which is going to go to their loading dock, pick up these goods, and then take care of it from there. If you're shipping like air cargo, which is essentially the same like customs process as a sea shipment or a sea shipment, then FOB is going to be the most common. So you can Google Incoterms and read a lot more about that. Sometimes it can get complicated because there's like 20 or whatever different like Incoterms, but everyone just uses EXW or FOB. Or I mean, those are by far the two most common. On Facebook, Cindy Trading Crew said, do you have to create a new email promotion if you created a new deal promotion for an item you previously listed but it expired? I'm assuming you're asking this question about JumpSend. On JumpSend, you don't have to create a new email promotion each time. The same emails are sent unless you tell it otherwise. The same emails are sent to everyone who purchases with a coupon or without a coupon. And you can just set it up one time and it's shipped to everyone. So you don't have to set up that new email campaign each time you do a new deal on JumpSend. On YouTube, Tonya Bruton asks, if I have an LLC registered under a different physical address, email address, and phone number, can I have 2 Amazon accounts? A professional seller account and a personal account to purchase items. So just to be clear, it's definitely allowed and okay to have an Amazon seller's account and an Amazon like general consumer account. Like, this account, like I'm just buying my cat food off Amazon, and with this account I have a different email address and I'm selling goods through the Seller Central platform. That's fine. What's not allowed on Amazon without prior written approval from Amazon would be to have 2 Seller Central accounts, and it doesn't matter if they have separate LLCs and bank accounts and all that kind of stuff. Amazon still wants you to get, technically you still have to get approval from them in order to have these 2 different accounts. All right. And they're pretty dang smart about tracking you to know whether or not you have 2 accounts or not. So I'm a rule follower myself, and I would encourage all you guys to do so. I would encourage you, if you do want to have 2 accounts, to get the approval from them. All right. On YouTube, Cosmetic Affairs says, what's your opinion on selling medium demand, low competition items? That sounds like a good place to sell, especially a good place to start. Low competition is great. Medium demand is solid. So that, that seems like a potentially a good item to sell. All right, on YouTube, V. Barrett said, hey, Greg, I pulled the trigger on my first private label item. Congratulations. That's awesome. I'm thinking about PPC right now, and I'm trying to figure out what $1 should be allocated per item or percentage. I'm thinking about PPC right now. I'm trying to figure out what $1 should be allocated per item. I'm sorry, I don't quite understand that question. If you want to try to rephrase it, maybe I could try to help, and I'll look for it the next time through. On Facebook, Itini and Emil, I apologize if I'm butchering some of you guys' names. I'm trying my best. Hey, Greg, for other countries in Europe, other than the UK, especially Germany and France, what would be your recommendation in terms of minimum niche size and maximum competition? Any precise numbers would help a lot. For Germany, I'd look for niches that have at least 2,000 units of demand throughout the entire niche. And I'd like to see like 5 sellers in the top 10 with under 50 reviews. France has a lot less demand than Germany. So in France, if you can find a niche that has 1,000 units of total demand throughout the niche, then that would be good. And I'd be looking for pretty low competition there. Like in the top 10, I would expect a handful of people to only have in the single or double digits of reviews. On YouTube, Albert D. Padova said, Amazon used to keep about 32% for the refer and pick and pack and ship. Since August, I've seen these fees skyrocket to 42% of our overall sales. Is this the new normal? So Amazon actually hasn't increased their pick, pack, and ship fees, if I'm not mistaken. They generally do in Q1 of each year. I don't think they have in the past or since August. Maybe your overall price has decreased, which makes their fee percentage higher. So keep in mind that for like 90% or more products on Amazon, Amazon keeps a 15% commission. In some categories, it's a little bit different, but like for 90+% of items, it's 15% commission. And then they charge pick, pack, and ship fees depending on the size and weight of your product. And then if you store it in their warehouse, then you're paying storage fees. So now kind of that you know all those things, maybe you can kind of go back and look at it again. Yeah. All right. Jess says Jess Hartling on Facebook says, with summer seasonality products, how do you go about launching? 3 months out, 4 months out? Obviously, as summer gets closer, your sales velocity will be increasing. Your experience and advice is greatly appreciated. Keep in mind, if you're ordering these products from China, the process is pretty slow. Like, we're talking about a month for the production. If you're shipping by ocean, it's another month. And then you want to account for some time for potential things to go wrong, delays. You also have to keep in mind for the whole month of February, expect the Chinese factories to be closed down for Chinese New Year. So if I was launching a product that's hot in the summer, let's see. If you ordered it the day they got back from Chinese New Year, that would be like March 1. That means the product's done April 1. Hopefully it arrives in the beginning to middle of May. You could that would probably work, but you're starting to cut it kind of close if the product starts getting pretty hot in May or June. Alternatively, You could place the order around Christmas. They would ship it out before the new year. And then you would have a little bit more room for error there. So yeah, you kind of have to think about those two things. But keep in mind, the whole month of February, the factories are closed down and it's like a major hassle. So pretty much you want them to ship your products before Chinese New Year, or you put in the order like the day they get back. But again, the day they get back from Chinese New Year, they're, for the first couple of months, the production lines are generally pretty busy because everyone needs inventory then. So yeah, hopefully that helps. On Facebook, Ignat Marius says, Greg, how many products do you have? I have over 100 products. Facebook Zane says, how can we add discount coupons in our Amazon list? This is a little bit difficult for me to describe over just video here. I guess for the future, I should set it up so I can switch between a screen share. I don't have that for today. But you do it in the promotions section, and towards the bottom of the promotions, there is a little box to check that says like I forget the exact words that it uses, but essentially you're telling it that it can display this coupon on your product listing, okay? Keep in mind when you do that, that everyone will see this, so make sure that like the promotion is such that if people purchase this thing, it's still a good deal for you and you're still making money. You can no longer post the promotions to show up on the search page. That feature has been deprecated and is no longer allowed. I don't think I've seen any lately. They were like phasing it out over the course of a few months. Some people might still have them left, but now that I think about it, I haven't seen those in a few weeks. On Facebook, Austin Hanley said, I'm currently working 2 jobs, trying to funnel money into my PL Amazon business, quitting my day job by the end of 2018. Freedom builder. Right on, Austin. I like it. I think that's a good goal. Very achievable. I'll be rooting for you. On YouTube, Robert said, how do we embed images in our product description? Did Amazon recently stop allowing it? This would be similar to the question I answered towards the beginning. And you embed images. If you're an FBA seller, you do so by using enhanced brand content, EBC. EBC is only available through brands that you have registered through the brand registry program. Christine said, realistically, can I create a product and start selling with only a $2,500 budget, considering all expenses? Christine, we did an example of this. If you Google how much money does it take to start on Amazon, you should see a Jungle Scout post pop up in the first few results. And we broke this out like line by line, how much money you need for the starting inventory and your pictures and whatever else. And yes, you can start with a $2,500 budget. That is very doable. Any plans to offer Amazon merch tools? It's not in the current product roadmap. Sabine said, I would love a Jungle Scout t-shirt. If you ask Amelia, our community manager, nicely, she might send you one. If you want to purchase one, with all the donates being sent to Pencils of Promise to build schools in underprivileged countries around the world, you can do so on Amazon. Just search on Amazon for Jungle Scout t-shirt. Jake said, what checklist do you look for when doing product research? Jake, I would encourage you to sign up for one of our weekly webinars on the Jungle Scout website that do product research. Because I go into this this is like my favorite subject, but I go into this very in depth. Just to give you a 1,000 foot overview, I look for high demand, I look for low competition, I look for good margins, I look for no potential legality problems like patents or trademarks. I prefer items that are simple and lightweight, and I prefer items that have low seasonality. Those would be the other things that I'm looking for. I'm sure that you still have a lot of questions after hearing that, since it's like a broad overview, but I encourage you to check out one of our weekly webinars every Tuesday at 2 time slots, where I will go in depth and give you all the numbers, and you watch over my shoulder as I do the product research, and it will be very helpful for you. On YouTube, Cosmetic Affairs asks, deciding between 2 suppliers, both have good communication, and they're both trading companies. The 2-year gold supplier is about $1 cheaper than the 4-year supplier. And they couldn't find a manufacturer. At that point, I would order samples for both. I would gauge the quality of both samples. And then at the end of the day, if they're both good communicators, they both have the same quality samples, everything else seems good, then I'd go with the better price. Hey, Greg, is it good to launch a product in the middle of Q4, knowing all of your competitors are potentially selling 10x more? This means you'll have to give away 10x more to do so. Yes, it's a good idea to launch a product in the middle of Q4. Q4 is just as good of a time, or potentially better, to launch at any other time of the year. You don't really have to give away 10x more because you'll be getting a lot more just organic sales as well. So don't let that scare you away, Dean. Go ahead and just launch. Like, you have to think, like, worst case scenario, it doesn't sell as great as you'd hope to do so during, and then January comes around and you do a pretty big giveaway then. But yeah, once you start giving away some of these units, you don't really have to give away as many as what your competitors are selling. You just have to give away enough to start ranking for some of these keywords. And keep in mind also, like, the PPC is going to perform better during Q4 because more people are searching for it and buying these things. So go ahead and launch a product. On YouTube, Lindia said, from your experience, how many products can a solopreneur possibly have? A lot. With Amazon, like specifically with private labeling, all the work's front loaded, right? It's time consuming to find a good product idea. It's time consuming contacting factories. It's time consuming doing your branding and coordinating with the factory and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of time consuming launching your product and getting your PPC first optimized. But after all that's set up, like, to be honest, I haven't touched like the Jungle Sticks listing in probably like a year. I've reordered like 4 times. We've gotten like 20 or 30 support emails in the past year about it. It's like essentially zero work at this point. Like literally 1 hour a month, okay? So, but I'm not saying it's not work. I'm saying all the work's front loaded. And once you've built this system and you have a good supply chain, your PPC is optimized, all this, like, at that point, like, there's not much left to do. At that point, it's a system that generates money for you, okay? A lot of people probably think like I'm BSing, but like, I'm serious. Like, you send the products into Amazon, they're doing the pick, pack, and shipment and everything. Like, there's not much for you to do anymore. So, if all the products were already launched, like, one person could probably pretty easily manage, like, I think you could easily manage 50 products. You could probably single-handedly manage 100 products. But that's not realistic because no one's really just given 100 products that have already been launched unless you buy this business. What's more realistic is you're trying to always launch more products. So yeah, and of course that takes time. So yeah, if you do it slowly, or you can pretty easily launch a few products each month, while still managing the ones kind of already going on. Yeah, hopefully that kind of helps a little bit. If I ship Air Express DHL through my supplier, does this cover custom, broker, and duties? When you ship an air courier or Air Express, like DHL or FedEx or UPS, they handle the custom side of it. Theoretically, you're supposed to pay duties on all shipments. However, when shipping into the US, generally shipments under like $2,500 don't have to pay any duties. That's actually not a law. Actually, all shipments are supposed to pay duties, but for whatever reason, the US is really lax about it. So usually under $2,500, there's no duties to be paid. But if you are responsible for import duties, they would pass those along to you. But lower price shipments generally don't have duties when shipped to the US. So if it's a lower price item, let's say less than $2,000 to give a little more room for error. If it's less than $2,000, generally just the price you pay DHL covers everything. They handle everything else. On Facebook, we have one from Ferdez. For how long will Amazon let my inventory stay in a warehouse if my first inventory doesn't sell out well? Amazon will let your inventory stay in their warehouse as long as you want, but the storage fees increase once it's been sitting there for like 6 months and a year. So, yeah, hopefully your inventory sells before the 6 month hits. But if the inventory doesn't sell very well and 4 or 5 months have passed, at that point I'd probably start like doing more coupon giveaways, bidding more aggressively for PPC and that kind of stuff. To just at that point it's like, well, if you just break even, I think then that's fine. So you don't have to like pay those additional storage fees. All right. Vincent Chan from YouTube said, "Hey Greg, can I sell on Amazon FBA in Malaysia where I'm living right now, but in the American market?" Yes, you can sell. So it recently came to my attention. I think there are a few like restricted countries. I don't really know which ones they are, but I'm pretty sure like 160 plus countries can all sell in the Amazon US marketplace. So you don't have to be there in order to sell in the US store. Like, I don't know for sure, but like if I were to guess, I'd probably say like 25%, maybe even 50% of Amazon FBA sellers don't actually live in the US, but are still selling in the Amazon US store. All right. Another one from Facebook, Cindy Trading Crew. Greg, for JumpSend, do you have to create a new deal promotion? I might have answered this incorrectly before and you re-asked it. Do you have to create a new deal promotion on a previously listed one if it expired, or can you just copy the expired deal and create new codes for that deal? You can do the latter. You can just add new codes to that deal, change the stuff accordingly to make sure it's accurate for the new coupons, and then you can relist it. Hey Greg, I have launched my first product and it has been selling well thanks to you guys. Nice job, Young. That's awesome. I've sold 200 of them. That's great. Only got 9 reviews though. Is there any way to get more reviews besides JumpSend? Getting reviews is a little bit frustrating for Amazon sellers. We all wish we were getting them a lot faster. Unfortunately, besides sending an email follow-up campaign through JumpSend or something else, there's not much else you can do. One thing you can do is you could create an insert and drop it into the packaging and specifically ask for a review, like in a little insert in the packaging. A lot of people do that. It's hard to quantify how big of a difference that really makes. Some people think it makes a big difference. I think maybe like a few percentage points. Yeah, you can try optimizing your email campaigns though. Things like maybe being a little bit more personable or kind of like funny, or you could try a different subject line. You can try all those things with your JumpSend email campaigns in hopes of getting some more reviews. All right, one from YouTube. Uzuma said, "Hey Greg, if we give a discount like 90% off and they give a review, does that count as a verified purchase?" Generally, no. With very small discounts, no one knows the exact number because it seems like there's more that Amazon takes into account besides just the percentage discount. But if you give very small discounts like 10%, 20%, it seems like those are generally still verified. If the discounts are like 60%, 70%, 90%, generally those are not verified purchases. That being said, a review from a non-verified purchase is better than no review at all. So especially in the early days, so I'm still happy to get those reviews. All right, we have a couple minutes left. I'll try to answer a few more questions. On Facebook, Sharon says, "Hey Greg, can you talk about selling in other countries on Amazon?" Sure. Amazon US is the biggest marketplace. There's the most demand there. The second biggest marketplaces, or second and third, would be like the UK and Germany. Germany is a little bit bigger than the UK. Yeah, If you're thinking about where to start, I would encourage you to start in whatever marketplace seems like the lowest barrier of entry for you. Yeah, if you have any more specific questions about kind of like the other marketplaces, I'd be happy to help you out. All right, no one from Facebook, Austin Mark said, hey, Greg, is it okay to ask a supplier in Alibaba to draft a trade assurance order, or is this something I need to do? It's my understanding, every time that I've ever done it, the factory has essentially created or initiated the trade assurance order, and then I look at it and press OK, and then pay it. Pablo Gomez says, my niche is high demand, but the products are only medium demand at best. Is that still a good option? Yeah, it's hard to know, like with just this information. Like there's other things, of course, I take into account, but it sounds like that could still be a good option. All right, Salima said, how much income would you be able to withdraw from your business and how soon? This is obviously a difficult question to answer. This is essentially what I can tell you. The more cash you're willing to keep in your business to fuel future growth, buy more inventory, launch more products, the quicker you're able to grow. If you withdraw all your profits and keep that for yourself and aren't reinvesting in more products or more inventory, then obviously it's much harder to grow. So that's just totally going to be up to kind of your specific business. MGSP28 on YouTube said, hey, Greg, I've sent over 50 emails using JumpSend and I haven't had any reviews yet. Should I just stick with it or change my email campaign? I would stick with it. 50 emails isn't very many, especially if those 50 people have only received like the first email and not the second or third or whatever. So everyone just understand, like the getting reviews process just takes time. You just kind of have to like stick with it, keep sending out the emails. It's better than not sending the emails. Yeah, there's not, unfortunately, too much else you can do. All right, HK Cayenne said, I'm curious what you mean by giveaways now that Amazon has banned incentivized reviews. Happy to clarify here. What I mean by giveaways is I sell my products using coupons at a discounted rate to shoppers, okay? The reason I do this is to increase my sales velocity to get more sales. With increased sales velocity, I rank better. When I rank better, I get more organic sales, and you can see how you can get this kind of like keeps going. I'm not giving these people a coupon in exchange for review. That is an incentivized review. I would never do that, and that's definitely illegal, okay? I encourage you not to do so. It's still perfectly okay to use coupon. Amazon's made this very clear. It's still perfectly okay to use coupons on Amazon, okay? So I can still give, when I say giveaways, all I'm doing is I'm giving coupons to shoppers and hoping that they purchase the product with my coupon so I get an additional sale, all right? So that's what I mean by giveaways. With all sales, it doesn't matter how you get them, whether it's through PPC or sales you purchase with a coupon or sales you purchase with an out of coupon. With all sales, the more sales you get, the more likely you are to get reviews, all right? All right, those will be the last one. Is there any way to buy the Jungle Snugs on AMZ Germany? I wanted to give to a friend as a gift, but I got the message there is no shipment to Germany. We have enabled the global shipment thing, but I guess Amazon decides which products they're willing to ship to which countries. So it sounds like, unfortunately, you may be out of luck. I'm sorry. I'll just answer this last one because I see it's really easy. Harold asked, what is PPC? PPC is pay-per-click. That's the ad platform. It's an ad platform. I'm specifically talking about the ad platform on Amazon. With that being said, guys, it's the top of the hour. I have to get back to work. I'm still making Jungle Scout better every single day. I need to get back at it. I have stuff to do. But if you haven't already done so, if you go to gregmercer.com/founder, so gregmercer.com/founder, right now I'm doing a giveaway. I'm giving away 50 copies of this really high-end book. It's the Founder book. It actually costs $80. I bought 50 of these things with my own money because I really like it. So if you go there and enter it, you'll be entered to win one of these books. I'll pay for shipping. You don't have to, this isn't like a free plus shipping offer or something. I'm paying for shipping. I'm paying for everything, okay? All you have to do to enter to win. I encourage all you guys to do so. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, smash that like or love button below. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube, and I will see you next week. Thanks, guys.